crisis and there isn't a crisis. Yes, the big problem is the lack of oil in the year 2040. No more oil. Now, that doesn't mean that we're not going to have energy, because we are going to have solar, wind, ocean energy. We're not going to have plastics. And as you know, we are a plastic society. We buy things that are made of plastic. We have textiles that are oil-based, and that is not going to exist 2040. We're deforesting. We're polluting the water sources. We're not doing very well with the wild animals. And in the future, we're going to pay for it dearly, unless we change course. Can we change course? Sure we can. We've changed course in history many, many times. The Renaissance came around and destroyed old taboos, brought out the best in men. Today we can do the same. How's it going to happen? I don't know. One world government? Not a bad idea.
In Switzerland, we have a good perspective on environment and politics. We do a lot for the environment, and I think we are going to a good future. But I guess in other countries, the consciousness for the environment and saving the nature is not that developed, because there are kind of circumstances that people are not ready yet to think about that. But I hope it could be once that everyone can work on it together, or all the countries can work on saving the nature together, but I'm not very optimistic about that, because I think each government and each country has its own interest, so that could make it harder to work together on the same goal.
Has to take care of it, because I don't know who else could take care of it. There has to be somebody, there have to be laws installed, much more laws, which look that the environment is not polluted as it is now. So I think it's something which should be treated by the politics and internationally. It doesn't make sense that only one country is doing something and has laws which are quite good, but there are no borders. So I think there has to be all these treaties international. This is a huge problem that nobody really thinks about, or they think about it, but they're not taking it seriously enough. And you notice it like in the everyday things that are happening, that global warming or the rain or the winter gets too long, or there's no sun, there's no snow, there's too much snow, but nobody seems to
care about it, is what my feeling is. And that's why I think that I don't see a very rosy future. I see more like a dark apocalyptic future. I think that's my problem. Yeah. I think if like the UNO would do stuff like that, it would probably work, but I think there's too much economics behind it, that there's too many people in positions of power that have too much money, and they care more about their money than they care about the environment.
I think that there is enough space for all of us. There is enough food, enough air, enough water. But at the moment, how it is, I think it's not in the right. Not everyone has the same access to those resources, and so that's I think a huge problem in the next 50 years. How people can go together and see how all those resources might be distributed to all the people. And I think I'm very optimistic, because at the moment there is unfortunately no need. Everyone has enough or almost enough, but I think in some years there will be a whole strategy change, because people will discover that only together we can survive on this planet. And only with this idea of togetherness, we can do something. Every one of us can survive only if everyone has this will to survive. And after that, we have to really discuss how we use water, how we use food, how we use air, pollution, not polluted air, good air. But I'm very optimistic. It doesn't sound so nice at the moment, and I think it's important to show the bad examples, to wake up people, to say what's going on. But I'm sure at the end we will have to go together in one direction, and I think it will happen.
First, I have to say I entirely agree that we are not aware enough of the importance, and not enough is done. What is the reason for this? I think because we do not really recognize the value of biodiversity. I can give you a simple example. There are many plants and animals extinct without us knowing their potential in terms of medicine and so on. And I think it's very much the same if you go to social issues, to cultural issues. We do not know the value, we are not aware, and therefore there is a lack in protection. I think this is very important, but to be honest, I do not know really how. And if we look at international relations, if we look how the world is organized, you become rather pessimistic. So I think what is important is that we have grassroots movements, people taking those things in their own hands, moving ahead. And my hope lies upon this rather than on complicated political processes.
I would assess biodiversity and biodiversity issues and ask myself, where can I find interested groups such as business business association or individual businesses, NGOs, traders, so that they can come together and figure out what could be a solution. For instance, if you have a certain product, a very particular nut or ingredients, food ingredients, if you turn them into products which you can sell in the market, then you have a potential for generating income, and local population can benefit from this biodiversity and start to conserve this biodiversity, because it is really the base of their income. So if you are able to break this down to very operational and pragmatic activities, then you are able also to start attracting interest of different interested groups in, and potentially interested groups in, biodiversity conservation.
Look, you have a date Friday night, and you're going to pick up your date at 8 o'clock. What happens at 7 o'clock? You're drinking a cup of coffee, having a beer, watching TV. What happens at 7:30? You're getting in your shower. What happens at 10 to 8? You're leaving your house. So is it 10 to 8 now, or is it already 8 o'clock? Are we already at our date? Is destiny right at our door? No, we have half an hour. We have 20 minutes.